Alright, so in today's installment, I want to present you my newest bottle lamp. And it is a laser lamp, as you probably saw from the thumbnail. And so what I needed for this was basically a hand-sized, right, grenade-sized bottle, right? These are too big. And yeah, so this is basically how it looks. Let's have a quick demo on that front. And yeah, just produces a very nice, the green, at least to my eyes, doesn't shine across as the right nuance of green. It's more of a grass green. This is more of a blue green that I'm seeing over here, probably because of the white balance dictated by these very warm lights. But yeah, this will easily work an entire room. That's definitely not a problem. And I have no idea how good quality the laser is, so how much IR it's actually leaking. And these are definitely rejects from the factory, probably, because it does have quite a few imperfections, which I don't mind. Right, what I will mind is if I drop it. That would be a serious bummer. But yeah, you can see it leaks quite a lot more on some sides. But yeah, this is very nice light. It's very interesting, right? As lasers usually tend to be. And so let's have a quick look around the outside, and then I'll show you it on the inside. So how I've done this is I wanted to have it be waterproof. So I scratched the bottom section off with one of those glass cutting tools. Put it in the fridge and then heated it up with a blowtorch and smacked it lightly with something metallic. And I had to Dremel away the little bevel, the little lip it had, because the charging coil was too far away from the charger. And I had this IKEA one initially, and it's very fussy. It really wouldn't like to keep charging, and it wouldn't try again, so it was very annoying. I got another one, which is a bit better, but I still ended up needing to shave off a millimeter or two on the bottom. But yeah, depending on your bottle, you should be fine. Although most bottles do have some kind of a concave action here, especially if it's a fizzy drink like this was. And yeah, touch button works pretty well in this glass, actually. You don't need to touch it at all, so it is quite nice. I left the LED on just to shine a bit more light on the inside. Had to do some caps on the input for the touch sensor, because I think the charging was actually killing it. I did kill a touch switch using this architecture, and just two 18650s, and this should run for about 40-50 hours, and those are old cells that are repurposed, right? So those are out of a scooter that had quite a few thousand kilometers, so yeah, definitely a nice life for those. And this is MS polymer, I think it's called. It's not sanitary silicone, it's the polymer thing that is a bit tougher and it's a bit more sticky, so it's easier to line stuff up. And I've added some nail varnish on the top to make sure it doesn't leak in, especially if you take it outside and inside, and there's going to be a pressure gradient between the inside and the outside, so I don't want it sucking air and moisture over the laser. But anyway, yeah, what else can I say? I think that's about it. I'll let past Ari actually explain all the stuff. He has to show the insides and everything, and yeah, hopefully he remembers that asynchronously.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean,
yeah,
maybe
I was gonna show it.
Maybe
yeah,
he does.
I have everything set up.
I really don't know. I don't really.
Dude, I'm just gonna cut you off in post. Like, this is not making any progress. Alright, whatever. So here is a little drawing of what is happening over here. And basically we have the Qi 2 charger. I haven't been able to find anything greater than this, greater power than this, right? So there's this very thin PCB type deal that probably comes out of the chargers, out of the stickers that you put on non-wireless charging phones to give them wireless charging. And this outputs 5 volts at 1 amp at most, and I haven't been able to find anything stronger. If you guys know of anything, let me know. But that goes in a standard old school TC4056. These were micro USB, which I tore off because I definitely hate that connector. Batteries, I'm using 2 very old 18650s from a scooter that was torn down perhaps before May 2025. I don't know exactly, but I did measure them and they have like 3000 milliamp hours. And they do hold charge after like half a year, so they should be fine. And at 6000 milliamp hours, this laser should run forever, right? Because it's gonna draw, we could actually do the math right quick. So 6000 divided by, what is it, no, these are milliamps, so 88. Let's go 130 for worst case, although, anyway, 46 hours. So yeah, this should have quite some runtime. So we're going in the TP whatever, 4056. That has 2 batteries and outputs a switched 5 volts, a switched battery voltage, and has a cutoff for short circuit, under voltage, over voltage. So you can leave this on indefinitely, and this should protect the cells from over discharging, and will charge them adequately as well. From the 5 volts, 1 amp coming from the wireless charger, demo coming real soon. And similar to my little candle lights, link up the top, I am using one of these touch modules. However, it's not able to switch the full whatever 130 milliamps this needs, because this has a constant current driver inline, right? Little round PCB that I've left unopened and unexplored, but that is what that is. And you can give it like 5 volt. That's why the voltage, the current decreases with voltage increase, right? Because this is a switching buck converter. So anyway, had to go with a MOSFET. I have a bag full of fake RLZ44Ns. I've drawn the pinouts over here for everyone to follow, especially myself. And yeah, now it does work. And you get the cool lasing. Right, so let's leave that aside and let's check the wireless charging. And these come with these modules come with this headphone type wire. Very thin, very flexible. For 1 amp should be good enough. And if it drops some current, if it drops some voltage onto this, it will actually take some load off of the charger, so it should be fine. We don't want this shorting out though. Damn, these are close. And I did go the legit route and actually spot welded some tabs over here to not solder directly onto the battery. So I am a nice boy and I should be getting good shit for Christmas. At least I hope so. Anyways, so this draws about 8 watts, give or take, right? And if let's actually turn it off, clamp it down. Why is this beeping so hard? So let's clamp the positive. Right, so we have the positive clamped. Dude, is this now making connection? What is happening? Anyway, so I want DC. And I want 0. Okay. How do I get the light to come on? Oh, the light doesn't come on because it's low on battery. Okay. Okay. So... Ah, man, the angle is shit. Anyway, this should do, so let's zero it out again. Okay. Turn on the power. And yeah, it's pushing about an amp at most, but this gets super toasty. This chip actually very quickly goes up to like 90 something and then throttles back and then actually charges at 600 milliamps or something. So you can see this is really hammering. Heat out. The wireless charger, I don't remember seeing it much hotter than this, although now it actually does seem... Well, now it's hotter because this is drawing more power, right? So the 1 amp. But anyway, yeah, it should be fine. And it should work while charging, so that's also a nice bonus. Yeah, this shit is bright. Alright, so I think that just about covers the build. From the inside, actually, yeah, no, what else can I show? Not much. No, yeah, that's about it, right? I'm just gonna stick the stuff with the sanitary silicone on the inside of the bottle with more silicone and just have a proper airtight seal around the neck of the bottle, and then use some either sanitary silicone or that other compound. I forget what it's called. I'll put it on the screen, right? Because that seems a bit tougher. I don't know. We'll see. But this should stick very nicely, right? Given that it's a proper crack all around, no cuts, it should really match up well. So yeah, that's about it. Alright, and one more quick mention before I put this back together. I did actually have the touch module die out on me, and this could have been because I was driving the charge coil without having sanded the bottom, and it was barely just too far, and I used a very cheap Chinese wireless charger, which actually made a very cool little sound when was very melodic, let me tell you. And so it actually killed the touch module. The MOSFET was fine. The laser driver, which is a constant current buck, was also fine. Everything else was fine. The charge circuit, the wireless charge receiver was fine. But yeah, the touch died. And to rectify this, I have added, I don't know if you can see right there, there's this big ass 1 microfarad, I don't know how many volts capacitor on the supply, on the voltage in for the touch sensor. And if you can see right there in the middle, where the white capacitor touches down, there is actually a second ceramic 1 microfarad SMD capacitor. So I've added those in just as a belt and braces redneck approach to what probably killed the touch module. And yeah, that's kind of it. I'll be gluing it together, and that'll be it.